Welcome to Mind Files Minutes. In this segment, we're digging into the he or she thinks they're better than me file. In the first episode of the Spiritual Files, I read this line from A Course in Miracles. It says, "Miracles are healing because they supply a lack. They are performed by those who temporarily have more for those who temporarily have less." The key words in that verse are temporarily have more. You see, the conclusions that we arrived at as children, which form the rigid perspectives that our minds process references now as adults, originated when we didn't have the capability to fully understand what was happening. So, as little kids, when we saw that somebody had something that we didn't, that not only created the desire to have it too, it also created a narrative, something along the lines of, why do they get stuff that I don't? Or why am I always left out? And that narrative eventually morphed into something along the lines of, he or she thinks that they're better than me. And that false belief crept into every part of our lives. And when social media became a daily habit, our mind's process started referencing mind files constantly and adding emotional filters to the narratives that we created as children that were based on images that might have been real, but maybe they weren't real. Regardless, it caused our mind's process to create false desires. And because we didn't stop to ask the question, is what I'm seeing real or a fabricated story? The consequences of that process snuck in. And before we knew it, we had major blocks that were creating problems in our lives. Those blocks are rooted in a base fear that we either aren't aware of because we haven't recognized it yet, or maybe we haven't admitted to even having it. So if you have a comparison mind file that says he or she thinks that they're better than me, you also have a mind file that deals with who you think you are, and that's causing you to compare yourself to others, which brings up feelings of jealousy, which causes you to feel justified in judging others, which is really, behind all that, an intense desire to be recognized and validated. Everybody walks this road that we call life. Some people started walking years before you, which means that maybe they're further along that road. And even the people who started on the journey at the same time as you maybe came into life, into this world with a different skill set. God gives everybody exactly what they need for their path, because only He knows what's on their path. Think of it. People who are intended to feed others, well, He gave them the love and the talent of cooking and baking. For people who were supposed to create things that would benefit them and everyone else, He gave them the love and the talent of creativity. And for people who were intended to be thinkers, God gave them the intellect required to achieve whatever it was that they were supposed to achieve. We were supposed to find our talents during our childhood and develop them throughout our early adolescence. But somewhere along the line, we got off course. Probably because we listened to the opinion of somebody else who thought we should be something, and then we followed that path that they thought we should go down. And then when our path didn't give us what we wanted, because it wasn't really our path, it was somebody else's, that caused our mind's process to add filters to all the narratives in the mind files that compare us to others. We assume, because we couldn't possibly know, that the people that we're comparing ourselves to are actually happier than we are. So if you find yourself making comparative statements like, he or she thinks that they're better than me, take the time, figure out what gifts God gave you. Make a list of your accomplishments, and then go back in, reassess that mind file to see if you really are lacking anything or if you have everything you need. It doesn't matter how old you are right now. You can shift away from comparing yourself to others anytime you want. You can learn how to let go of the need to criticize, judge, and condemn others. Figure out which mind files are causing the problems, review them, reassess them, and then resolve them once and for all. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you learned something that can help you help yourself. Let us know what you think. Leave a comment. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and share this video with others. Subscribe to the channel for more Mind Files Minutes.